Hi, you guys, and welcome. Welcome back to a Tailor-Made Life podcast, where every conversation is one step closer to designing the life that God has for you. I'm your host, Taylor Renee, and I am so excited to have you back here with me. Last episode, I know we discussed a little bit about being in alignment with God and what it means to live a tailor-made life. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to break that down. We're going to talk about how you get to that point. How do you live a tailor-made life? Well, there is a formula, right? Because truth be told, I don't think you have a faith problem. I think you have a formula problem, right? You don't know the proper steps, the channels that it takes in order to live this tailor-made life. So we're going to break that down today. Yeah. So I guess we can step right into it. The formula has 3 steps, 3 simple but complex steps, right? And none of them will work without the first one. Before you plan, before you chase any dreams, before you even try to think about what your life could be, you have to do the first step. And that is building a relationship with God, getting connected to the source. Okay? What do I mean by that? I mean inviting him into your life. More room for him, less room for you. More room for him to work, less room for you to worry and try to plan and strategize. No. Getting connected to the source, inviting God into your life is going to be the first step, because ultimately he is the one that has your life planned out, right? He has already accounted for your life and your purpose and your calling. So you inviting him into your life is honestly like getting the cheat code to a test, right? He's going to tell you, he is going to guide you and protect you and lead you onto that path. But first, ladies and gentlemen, you have to invite him in. That's the first step, getting connected to that source. So let's say you already have a relationship with God, right? Like, let's say you're a believer and you pray and you go to church and yeah, you're a believer and you have a relationship with God. Okay, great. But I'll challenge you to reflect on 1 or 2 ways that you can improve that relationship, right? When's the last time you fasted? When's the last time you've sat in your prayer closet and you really got down on your knees and you cried out to him, right? Inviting him into life. When's the last time you surrendered or said no to your flesh? When ask yourself those things. Ask how you can invite God more into your life, because obviously it's going to look different for everyone. How I invite God into my life and how I bring him in is going to be different from you. But one thing that we both have in common is that we have room to improve, right? We have that God has asked us to do that we are not doing. Things that we have not quite surrendered or died to yet. So if that's you, then I challenge you to improve. I challenge you to reflect on one way that you can invite God more into your life, because ultimately that is the first step in the formula, and it's the most important part. God's not looking for perfection. He's not looking for you to be perfect, but he is looking for a sincere and willing heart. A steward that is willing to let him in, someone who is excited to see what he has for them. Connection comes before direction. If you don't make room for him, you will not be able to hear his voice. Okay, first step done. Once you're connected, right, you will start to notice a shift. Something will begin to change and shift in you. Because when you invite God into your life, when you're really connected to the source and you really invite him in with a sincere heart, he starts to come in and slowly change our hearts. And that is where the second step comes in. Receiving the vision, receiving it. You've gotten connected, so now it's time to receive what he has for you. But in order to receive those things, it requires three things, right? Sensitivity, surrenderance, submission. Okay? Now, if I had to break these things down, right, I'd say plainly, sensitivity is a matter of paying attention. It's paying attention to those signs, paying attention to the wonders, paying attention to the little nudges in your heart, the little voice in your head that's like, don't do that. Or maybe it's telling you to go right when you should probably go left. That, being aware of that, you have to be paying attention to those little nudges, those little inklings. Sometimes they're loud, sometimes they're very subtle and soft. Either way, you have to position your heart, position yourself in a way where you are paying attention, that you're sensitive to what God is telling you, right? You can't be so stuck in your own head and your loud thoughts to where you totally ignore little nudges that God is trying to give you. That's the first thing, right? The next one, surrenderance. Surrenderance, ladies and gentlemen, is, again, very important, super hard to do. That's a challenge that we all go through every single day. Surrendering. Surrenderance. That is laying down what you want and allowing God to choose the path that he has for you. Your life has already been accounted for. He already knows, right? But what we fail to realize is that it's his plan, not ours. So we have to lay down what we want, lay down our path, lay down, surrender what we thought our path was, what we thought we were going to be, to him, and let him decide what we are. We can't receive the mission. We can't receive the vision if we're gripping our own vision. The last one, and these two kind of work together, right? Because surrendering is laying down what you thought, and submission is when God takes over and he steps into the driver's seat, right? And he makes a sharp left. When God comes in, you surrendered what you thought that you were supposed to be, and you've given it to God, and God comes in, and now you must submit to his will. Now you must obey his will, even when he tells you no. What are you going to do then? So, sensitivity, surrenderance, and the last one, submission. Submission and surrenderance kind of go hand in hand, but submission, again, is staying obedient. It is staying the course. Now that you've laid down your will and allowed him to take over, when he tells you no, what are you going to do? When you apply for that job and you don't get it, what are you going to do? When there's an opportunity that comes that you think that you would be perfect for because you think it's a part of your will and you think it's a part of your purpose, and he says no, what do you do then? What are you going to do? Are you going to stay the course? Are you going to stay in alignment with him, or are you going to try to take the wheel back? Are you going to try to step in and take over because now that you didn't get what you wanted, now you're freaking out? What are you going to do? Because either way, God's there. You've made it. You've followed step by step by step. He's here. He's not going to let you go. He's not going to stop pursuing you. And so the longer it takes for you to submit, the longer that this process is going to take. Submission is staying obedient. Surrenderance is laying down the will. Submission is staying obedient when he tells you no. Because truth be told, as you continue on with your walk, you will notice that you get more no's than yeses. God's going to tell you no a lot more often than he tells you yes. A lot of the time, you're going to hear no. And the more resistant you are to that no, the more he's going to continue to wring your heart of sin. The more he's going to continue to give you a no, because he wants you to understand that your submission and your surrenderance to him is what it's all about in the first place. That's all he wants. Okay? So, through those three things, sensitivity, surrenderance, and submission, you will then receive the message. You will receive the vision. Once you've surrendered and submitted, guess what? That $1 million business idea, yeah, it's going to come. That long-standing passion that you had when you were a child, that thing that you loved doing, yeah, it's going to come. That he's going to place those things onto your heart, onto your mind. It's going to be a random thought or something, a random conversation, somebody telling you in the middle of the street, hey, yeah, you'd be a great artist. You'd be a great tech guru. Though, once you hear those things that are just random and that kind of come out of the blue and you didn't really expect, you don't know where it came from, that's God. But again, it's only going to come once you've been paying attention and you've surrendered what you wanted and you've stayed obedient when God told you no. That is when those things are going to come. You cannot receive the vision if you're still holding on to your own vision. Understand that God has already created this for you. Remember that everything that he's doing is to prosper you, never to harm you. Okay? So, once you've done those things, right, that is where God comes in once again, and he says, you know what? You're ready. You finally got your yes. You're ready. That $1 million business idea, yeah, it's going to come to you in the middle of the night. He's going to find a way where you're able to capitalize on it. That grad school application that you've been waiting for, approved. Okay, now it's time for you. Now is where the fun part comes in, right? Yeah, and when I mean fun, I mean it's not fun at all. But that's the last step of the formula. Doing the work. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Doing the work. It's the last and final step of the formula. It's the step that I'm in right now. It's the step that I'm sure a few of my fellow mates are in right now. And this is where your responsibility comes in, right? This is where the faith meets the discipline. God opened the door. He created the opportunity. He cleared the path. All you have to do is show up and run the route. That's all you have to do. Think about it as if you're on a football team, right? Football team has a head coach, it has a quarterback, and it has a wide receiver. The coach, right, which is God, the coach has already ran the play. He calls the play, right? He's looking at the scoreboard. He's looking at the circumstances. He's like, okay, boom, we're going to run this play. He tells the quarterback. The quarterback says, got it, coach. Here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to execute the play that you created. He goes and then gets on the field. He looks at this. He sets all his players in position. He looks at the field and he says, okay, I'm going to throw the ball this way. Boom. As the ball is spiraling 100 feet in the air, what does the wide receiver do? The wide receiver is on the ground doing the work. He's navigating through tackles. He's shuffling through plays. He's getting through this block and going through this person. He is running. He's doing the work. He's running the ball. Once he catches the ball, he receives the ball. Guess what? He has to take it to the end zone. And that's us, right? God has already set the play. He already knows. He's called the play. Jesus is the one that comes in and says, hey, okay, here, we're gonna set this up like this. You're going to go here. This person's going to be here. This employer is going to tell you this. You're going to apply for this job. You're then going to take this opportunity and we're going to bring it over here. You're going to start your own business. You're going to work here for a few years and then you're going to start your own business. You're going to go to grad school for 2 years and then you're going to start your own practice. Right? What do we have to do, though? Where does our responsibility come in? We're the wide receivers. We're the ones that have to navigate through life. We have to navigate through the tackles and the plays and the different no's and the doubts and the insecurities. We have to navigate through those things. We have to find a way to get the ball to the end zone. God has given you the opportunity. At this point in the formula, he's given it to you. You've surrendered, you've submitted, you've gotten connected with him. He's giving you the mission. You've received the mission. You know what the vision is. And now it's time for you to do the work. That means preparing for the role that you're in. right? Managing your time better, right? Being in a position where you are set up to be the most excellent employee or the most excellent business owner, the most excellent person that you could be in that position, even when you don't feel like it. Being a good steward of the opportunity and the mission that, or the vision that God has given you. That's the last step. You have to do the work. God has to know that he can trust you to be a good steward, that he can trust you to put forth your best foot, your best effort with this mission that he's given you, this vision that he's allowed you to carry out. These 3 steps, getting connected to the source, receiving the mission through surrender, submission, and sensitivity, doing the work, that is how you live a tailor-made life. Those 3 things equal success, destiny, fulfillment, joy. That's the formula. That's it, right? And like I said, it wasn't hard. Those aren't super hard steps, but there are things in them that make them complex. It's not going to be a walk in the park. It's going to be some no's and some doubts, and a few yeses. But more importantly, more than any of that, there's going to be relationship with God. There's going to be security. There's going to be joy. Because you know who's behind you. You know who's placed you here. And so I challenge you. I challenge you to try this in your own life. I challenge you to create and design the life that God has for you. I challenge you to do it. I dare you to. Just to see if God doesn't show up in your life the way he has for me. So stay sensitive, stay surrendered, and keep showing up. That's the formula. That is it. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Till next time, I hope you enjoyed this video, and subscribe, share, like, comment. I'd love to know what step of the formula that you're in right now, or where you think you are in regards to what we were talking about today. So yeah, drop me a chat down below and stay blessed. Thank you. Bye.